Hi, welcome to Reddit Tea Time. Hey everyone, I'm in a bit of a pickle and I'm hoping you can help me figure out if I'm in the wrong here. Throwaway account for obvious reasons. So, a little backstory. My husband and I have always had a very open and honest relationship. We communicate about everything and have created an environment where we can discuss anything without judgment. We've been together for years and our bond is strong. Recently, my husband shared with me that he has a fetish. He likes to be called daddy in the bedroom and he enjoys calling me mommy. I was a bit taken aback at first, but after some open conversations, I realized that as long as it's consensual and makes him happy, it's all good with me. I understood that it's a personal preference and nothing to be ashamed of, so I embraced it and made sure to let him know that I was supportive and accepting. I ended up liking that dynamic a lot and getting very much into it. Now, here's where the dilemma comes in. I was chatting with a group of my closest friends and the topic of relationships and communication came up. I shared it because I was excited about how close it feels in our relationship. Feeling positive about our open communication, I shared the fact that my husband and I have this unique aspect to our intimacy. I didn't see it as a big deal given our level of trust and understanding. However, when I got home, my husband was visibly upset. He told me he felt embarrassed and betrayed that I shared this intimate detail with others without his consent. He feels like I invaded his privacy and exposed something that he considered to be private between us. I was genuinely surprised by his reaction as I thought our open communication extended to discussing our relationship with close friends. I truly never meant to hurt or embarrass him. My intention was to share our strong communication and openness as a positive example. But now I'm questioning whether I overstepped a boundary I wasn't aware of. Am I the bonehead in this situation? Should I have known better than to discuss something so intimate, even if I thought we were on the same page about openness? I want to make things right and understand his perspective, but I also believe in maintaining an open dialogue in our relationship. So I'm turning to you for some unbiased opinions. Your insights and advice would be greatly appreciated. Now for some comments. You maintain an open dialogue in your relationship, not with your friends about your relationship. I tell my significant other everything. Would I want him to run around and repeat it? Hell no, it's between us. You broke trust and confidence, and that's hard to get back, especially something so private. You're the bonehead, and you betrayed the very trust and intimacy that you guys had. You could have shared how strong your communication was without giving specifics. You're the bonehead and a total idiot. You broke all trust with your husband. You're a complete idiot and a gossip. I'm horrified reading this breach of trust and lack of discretion. Grow up, OP. You're the bonehead. I thought our open communication extended to discussing with close friends. This is the problem right here. Do you think he considers your close friends his close friends and vice versa? Do your friends consider him close enough to keep his confidence? Probably not. You're the bonehead. Hi everyone, this is my first posting here. Please bear with me, LOL. Yesterday, Mom took us to a friend's birthday party. She wanted to introduce us to her friends for the first time since my brother and I moved to Europe less than a month ago and started living with her. In the party, I met a gay couple. Let's call them Rob and Nick. They are wonderful and I ended up spending time with them. I walked away a bit to go to the barbecue line to make myself a plate. While I was waiting for the meat, I overheard two men talking about hooking up with a girl in the car. I ignored it because I didn't know who they are and also that's none of my business. A little while later, one of those men sat across the table from me and Nick and Rob. Rob wrapped his arm around his husband and kissed his cheek, like normal couples do. Then the guy protested loudly saying, "Are you seriously doing this? There are kids around." It caught us by surprise and the couple didn't know how to react, so I said, "You didn't seem to care if there were kids around when you were talking about being intimate with a girl in the car." What I didn't know was that the guy's wife was sitting beside him. And well, you can guess what happened afterwards. He started to yell at me, calling me a liar. Then my mom and brother came over to protect me. Rob and Nick entered the fight, and his wife was lashing out at him, screaming at the top of her lungs, was even throwing stuff at him. It was a huge fight. The birthday girl got overwhelmed and ended the party early. I immediately apologized to the birthday girl, She said she understands, but I should stay out of it, especially since I didn't know them very well. Nick and Rob can defend themselves. Some people are bombarding my mother's phone saying things like I should have ignored and stepped away with Rob and Nick from the guy because he was drunk and didn't know what the F he was talking about. Others say I should apologize to everyone at the party for ruining the day. Others support me and said I did the right thing. I feel awful for my mom and the birthday girl. It was definitely not a good first impression. Now for some comments. Glass houses and all that. The loudmouth drunk should have kept his bigoted opinions to himself, especially considering how cavalier he had been about his extramarital activities earlier in the day. Chances are this isn't the first time the guy made sexual comments about women other than his wife and got caught. The fact she was so quick to believe you could mean this guy is on his third or fourth potential mistress. Hopefully, it's the last straw and she leaves him. Nah, you didn't intentionally do it, and if he didn't want crap to come back to him, he shouldn't have done it in the first place, much less start crap talking without expecting to get crap on in response. He deserved it. Good going. People think shutting up is the same as not taking a side. That's completely untrue. You chose to speak out. Anyone telling you to shut up is just being lazy and choosing the perpetrator, not the bonehead. As the title suggests, my best friend of almost a decade made out with my boyfriend of 2 years while they were drunk, and I don't know how to recover. Please pardon any typos. This situation is still really fresh. It's also a very lengthy story, but I never thought anything like this would ever happen to me, and I'm absolutely crushed by this entire situation. Just warning you, this story is all over the place, so please keep that in mind and be nice. I'm looking for some outside perspectives because I don't want to leave my boyfriend. I've never loved a person so much, and his family loves me like a daughter. His mom has reached out to me to offer her support. I would call our relationship a fairy tale. I know we're young, but I genuinely can see a future with this man. We've never had a super serious argument, and when we do argue, we talk it out and communicate how we feel. So, 2 nights ago, my best friend KK, 19 female, was venting to my boyfriend C, 22 male, and I, 20 female, about her relationship that was falling apart. I suggested for us to get tipsy that night. Keyword, tipsy. I actually said that because there's been times we've gotten too drunk while talking about our problems and then we end up crying, and I can't stand that. We get the liquor and head back to the house. C and I take a shot and wait for KK to arrive. She gets there and is talking to us about how her relationship is in shambles. We're hanging out for a while with our 2 other friends. They aren't that important in this story, but we'll call them T and B when KK gets a FaceTime call from a girl we were both friends with. I spoke to her for a long time about this girl we used to be friends with because I was the most sober person, and of course KK, C, and T were all downstairs having an emotional talk and crying. Anyways, T and B go home. B was sober and of age, and I continue to talk to this girl. We shall call her J, about anything and everything. C and KK are outside talking, and I don't care. I trust both of them more than I ever trusted anyone. They kind of went back and forth between outside and inside a couple of times, and J asked me if I was alright with that. Of course I told her, yes. If it was any other girl, she would not be alone with him. Not my exact words, but that was the idea. Suddenly, C and KK come back inside, and C tells me, "You need to get off the phone. KK needs to go home." I didn't think anything of it because she had already been talking about going home. So I get off the phone, and after some complaining about how she doesn't want to go home, she finally leaves. I feel like it's important to note that she lives in the same neighborhood as me and is the next street over. When she gets home, she FaceTimes me talking about how she doesn't want to go inside, blah blah blah, and when she does go inside, we made food on the phone together. She didn't show an ounce of guilt. She was talking like nothing happened, and she was going to act like nothing happened. The next day, I woke up at noon, and within 5 minutes of me waking up, my boyfriend says we need to talk about something serious. I have no idea what he's about to tell me. He goes on to say that he thinks we need to break up because KK kissed him last night. I could feel my world falling apart. I thought I was still asleep, and that it was a really sick dream I was having. I felt like I was going to throw up, followed by tears, and then a rage I have never felt before. I have never felt so many emotions all at one time. First sadness, then betrayal, then rage, then betrayal again. I was furious, but I also felt so stupid because I should have seen it coming. I had a full-blown panic attack, but was also simultaneously ready to drive to her house and whoop that butt. I went and chugged some espresso, then was about to brush my teeth when I hear my phone ringing. Of course, it was KK. I answered the FaceTime call and I just start yelling and going off on her over the sounds of her crying and screaming. I don't remember. Then I tell her to expect a beating today and hung up. Luckily for me, I didn't even have to go knock on her door and speak to her grandma because I hear a car door close outside. I thought, there's just no way in hell. I run to my bathroom window, still feeling the same overwhelming adrenaline and rage, and see her car. I sprint to my kitchen, and someone please tell me why this girl is trying to open my back door like we're cool. I decked the F out of her a good 5 or 6 times before screaming at her to leave my house and that I do not care what her excuse is. Once again, she's just screaming that she doesn't remember, and I'm screaming that I don't care. If you were a real friend to me, it doesn't matter how drunk you were, the thought wouldn't even cross your mind. Just thinking about the amount of times she has reassured me when I tell her I feel insecure about her is enough to bring back all the rage. After that, C and I talk about it for a long time, and he has been very transparent about everything. He told me it happened very fast and that it started as them just talking like friends would. Then she said she had had feelings for him since I introduced them. Then she grabbed his face and kissed him. The most heartbreaking part is that for a minute he kissed her back. I'm almost crying just writing this part. He said it was long enough for his brain to work and realized that it was very wrong. At a certain point, he pulled away from her and made it clear that this was going to break me and ruin both of our relationships. She told him not to tell me, at which point he was already feeling the guilt set in, and told KK he would be telling me. She was really going to act like nothing happened. I'm heartbroken. C told me that whatever I want to do about this, he would respect my choice. He said that if I want to continue to be with him, which I do, he would spend as long as it takes to regain my trust, even if it takes another 2 years. He has been very honest and answered every single question I've had about it, and has taken accountability for his actions. I just don't know what to do other than kind of sit on these emotions. Last night I cried just begging with God to wake me up from this sick dream. But it really happened and I don't know what to do. C said we can start from scratch if we need to, and we can restart as friends if it would make me comfortable. He's staying at his grandma's house for a few days while I actually take some time to process what happened. I can't help but think that she did this on purpose because her ship was already sinking. I just want some opinions or advice from people who don't know me in real life and aren't connected to me in any way. Thank you for reading. I know it's a very long one. Now for some comments. She's not your friend. End the friendship and don't waste any more time on her. OP replied, she's already done for, LOL. I sent her a lengthy message last night about how awful of her that was and that her now ex-boyfriend is welcome to come get his scooter from over here whenever he can, but she better not show her face around here again. I don't plan on ending things with my boyfriend, but thank you for your input. You decked her? There is so much immaturity in this entire scenario, I'm floored. It's weird to me though that his first words were, we should break up. And then he says, we can go back to being just friends. I do think he's trying to get out. Just saying. OP replied, I said something very similar to that after I had chilled out and we were able to talk about it. The going back to being friends thing, that was a suggestion to try and make me more comfortable with being with him after this. And him saying, I think we should break up when he was about to come clean was the guilt eating him alive. He's been very transparent with me about this whole thing, so I'll choose to believe that that was the truth. Thank you for the input. Regarding your boyfriend, since you already cut your best friend, he kissed her back for a whole minute. I'm not saying that with any sarcasm. That's a long time to kiss someone back. I mean, they're not just standing still and kissing like statues. Your boyfriend may tell you out of guilt, and he's a stand-up guy for telling you the truth, but he might not be the guy for you. And his initial reaction to offer to break up with you is also interesting. Jay clearly sensed something when she asked if you were okay with C and KK hanging out a lot that night. Also, I hope you don't diss on having girlfriends in the future. It looks like you've got a couple of good ones there. Jay was looking out for you. Stop. Just stop. The fairy tale is over. You have to be able to trust any man you're in a relationship with. Sober, drunk, in between, this was going to happen. One or both of them could have said no, but they didn't. Don't justify it. Don't make excuses for it. It was wrong. End of story. Honey, you are young. People who cheat, cheat. It doesn't stop. Glad you dumped the conniving girlfriend. She wanted to do this since they met and then wanted to lie about all of it. But your boyfriend isn't innocent here. He could have and should have pushed her away immediately. I'm grateful that he's willing to step back. But you need a breather. You need to reevaluate what you want and need in a relationship. First, you need to feel secure above all things. Second, you need to feel respected. Third, you need to feel loved and cherished. Hate to say it, but that all went out the window with that one passionate two-way kiss. Once you ring the bell, you can't unring it. Take some well-deserved time apart to process what happened. The scales have fallen from your eyes. But please, no self-blame, no justifications, no excusing his behavior. What do you think? Please let me know in the comments below. If you like these stories, please consider subscribing. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next Reddit story. In the meantime, please take care of yourself. Bye for now.